Hello guys, this is the Wings Mobile Detailing Podcast, and this is one of the first podcasts which I'm going to try to keep it short, simple, to the point, and not tiring to listen to. I've gotten some really constructive and amazing criticism, and I'm really thankful for. It could have been a little bit harsh, but it was indeed really constructive. And I'm going to apply it to this podcast and go over the topic today. I'm going to be talking about building a business from scratch with a strong foundation and not getting trapped into delegating all of the work that you have to do for your startup business in the first week, in the first month. Although there are things, and I'm going to go over when is the time for you to delegate those tasks to do. But at first, a lot of people make the mistake of, I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to delegate. I'm going to start my business, and I'm going to delegate this. I'm going to have somebody do the design for me, pay somebody to do the logo for me, and pay somebody. And that's a business is made to generate money. Focus on generating money. And if you're starting off spending that much money, delegating in the wrong time, the consequences are not just going to be financially, but it's going to be operational consequences too. If you start to delegate everything early on, you're not going to allow yourself time to learn. And so when you grow your business big later on, you start to delegate more of the tasks that you should have been doing at first, but you didn't, and you're going to start to lose yourself and not know how to solve problems because you haven't gone through each problem on each sector of your business. That applies for everything. Stay with the introduction here, and thank you so much. You guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be quick, simple, and to the point.
Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Andre Mezzalira.
The problem with businesses nowadays, young entrepreneurs, startup businesses, is that entrepreneurs, they don't get into business usually when after they went to a university or they've been in business for many years. There's a fact they're a startup, and so they don't have experience. But there are common mistakes normally that we can see and I can find on business owners that are starting their business that repeat themselves. Common mistakes. And one of these are the fact that when they start in business, they hear a lot that for you to be in business, you have to build a team, you have to delegate, you have to do other things. And so it brings out a misperception that you should be delegating everything early on. You get into business, you delegate somebody to train your team when you barely have a team, somebody to build your advertisement, your SEO marketing, and website, even the technical work for your company, where sometimes if you're in a service business and you don't know how to do something, delegate for somebody who does, but you're the owner. You're supposed to know that and then delegate. Yes, you should delegate the work, the job, but until you get to know all the ins and outs of each sector of your business, that's the foundation you're going to create. That's when you're going to create the foundation. When you actually learn the ins and outs in each category of your business. And to go into details right now, but this is a huge tip, guys, and consider that. And towards the end of this podcast, I'm going to tell you when is the right time to delegate. And it's very simple. First, website, web design. If you're depending on the size of business, whatever trade you're working, the more you can do for your business at first without delegating, let's say if you can do the design of a website yourself, the better it is later on, because you're going to know how to do a website. You're going to know what you want in your website. It's going to be all your way. And not saying about not getting ideas from outside sources. Yes, it's always helps. You ask your peers. Technical work. If you do a service business or sell products in the store, provide service to clients, for example, that service in particular, that trade, if you're a plumber, we're a car detailing company, as an owner of that particular business, you're gonna want to know the work. And If you're starting a business or just want to be the investor and not do the work, that's different. You're the investor. You're not actually the business owner. A true business owner know the front line before they become, just like in military. You go to the front line before you become a general, because you want to understand what goes inside the war, inside the field, the front line. So you need to know that business. I mean, this particular point, I can compare it to a war, to the rankings of the military, and you have to know each side. The technical work, for example, you have to know how to do it, and it's not just, I'm gonna learn on YouTube how to do plumbing, how to detail cars. I'm just gonna learn on YouTube and not have much experience. I'm already gonna delegate that. The problem with that is that you didn't go through enough experience, different cases, problems, so that if you delegate too early in the game for somebody else to do the work and you don't know how to do it yourself, problems are gonna happen with your employees when they're in the field, and they're gonna call who? They're gonna call you. You're the owner of the business. You built it. They're gonna call you to help them solve a problem they don't know about. And if they have more experience in doing that particular service than you have, how are you gonna help them? So that's why you need to get to the front line and learn and go through all problems that can happen later in the business, because then what you're gonna delegate is not the particular service. Then when you grow the business, you can then even train somebody to solve the problem that your employees are having. But it all starts from you. Hiring people the same way, accounts, when you're gonna hire people, are you gonna call a company and be like, hey, I early on and start delegating that job? When you start needing employee, you're not gonna call a company and tell them to hire people for you. You're gonna hire yourself, because you're gonna learn what type of people, what they're gonna answer in an interview. You're gonna interview them yourself, because you will know what type of guy you need to work for your company. Why? Because you were in the front line, you worked your ass off in the front line, put in the actual work, and you learned what type of people would fit well for that position. And if you don't know, if you haven't been in the front line, then you wouldn't be able even to hire somebody. See how that connects? So hiring somebody is something that you also want to know how to do. You want to interview the guy at first, and then you can delegate that part as goes. And I'm gonna go into time to solving problems, for example. So it all comes back to, why can't you just hire somebody to hire for you? Because you're building your company, you're growing your company, you've been in the front line, you know what guy you want to put in there. What are you gonna hire somebody? If you're gonna hire somebody to hire people, so let's say a manager, for example, but you're gonna train them and you're gonna tell them, hey, this is the type of people we need. Solving problems, ads, advertisement, for example. If you're spending too much money on marketing at first, when we're first getting into business, I want to market my business, I'm gonna pay this guy because this guy said that I can get this much client using this type of ad, this Facebook ad or this Google ad. But the same goes back. You have to know how to acquire clients first yourself. Organically, I'm saying about you going out there, having experience on going out there, knocking, like cold getting people, cold marketing. Because when a shortage comes, when a crisis comes, you have to rely on yourself. And if you start off a business relying on secondary companies to do the marketing for you, to find clients for your business, and when a crisis comes or a shortage or any problem in between, you're not going to have money to pay. You're going to have to use your skills. And you're not going to have money to pay. And then it would come out as a nightmare because you won't have clients. So even that, spending too much money on delegating the marketing part as well of your business, you have to know that too. Start off organically. Start off with what you can do. SEO for your website, social engine optimization. Social engine optimization, that's when you get in the front page of Google. I have a different podcast for that. For example, what do you have to do to get your business to the front page of Google if that's what you need and if that's what your business need. But this is just one of the examples. You can hire a lot of companies that can do that for you. But if you don't know how to do it yourself, how to get your business in the front page of Google yourself, and you need that done, you might go out and hire a company that is not actually doing their job well, but you're not going to notice because you don't know how to do it yourself. You only hire them just like we do here. We train everybody to know everything in the business category. You hire them because, okay, I don't have time anymore. And then you hire somebody else. Accounting, how to do the accounting for your company. Accounting is a huge, extremely complex topic. But you have to know how to do the accounting. I'm just going to stop there. I'm not going to go over the details of accounting. Training your staff, I already went over that. So you want to know all ins and out, and I'm not saying have 10 years of experience into accounting before you delegate. I'm not saying have 10 years of experience doing the technical work yourself. No, I'm just saying spend a good amount of time, and it varies, but spend a good amount of time with hands-on in the front line. You as a business owner need to be in the front line. Unless your job in the business is only to provide the money, unless you're just an investor, then you're investing for somebody else to do all this work, for a business owner to actually bring all this together. But if you're having a business owner, you should know all that, and that's how you build a foundation for your business. A business without this won't have a foundation. You're gonna build your house in a rock. When your house have a foundation, you're not gonna build it in the sand, and then when a wind comes, when the crisis comes, if it's built in the sand, when the wind comes, it hits the house, it tears the house down. And that's what happens when you don't have this type of foundation, the knowledge to know all the ins and outs of your business. Avoid spending hundreds of dollars on ads, because if you're spending, just as I said, using the SEO company, ads is the same thing. If you're spending and pay other companies to do ads for you and they're bringing you clients, maybe it is working out, but maybe this other company can do 10 times better, but you don't know because you're naive to how ads should react. Pay-per-click, you can compare. Go to Facebook, do a simple ad, start there. There's always, you're not gonna be an expert on it. Just start, okay, this ad, I get this many clicks and I spend this much money per click, and I get this much audience. But what's the audience type? It's a more generalized broad. But if I spend the other one, I spend less money. It's experience to try it out. Now, when do you delegate? So the reason why you want to wait and be in the front line. Now, when do you start delegating your job? That's after you learn each trade, obviously. Only delegate step by step. Don't delegate everything at once. So if you're a plumber offering plumbing service, or if you're selling the store and you start to help the salespeople how to sell, because you're going to train them as well, and you do the accounting as well for your business at the end of the year or monthly basis, you're doing the web design, SEO, you're going to do a little of everything. At first, you're going to have time when you're starting a business. You're going to have more time. And so use that time to learn trade. And as my time is not as valuable here. As you start to, I know all the ins and outs. I am capable right now to train somebody to take my place. That's when you delegate. When you deem your time more valuable than spending on doing that specific task, and when you're ready to delegate that service, and because you have experienced enough of that particular task, that if your employee who you trained calls you with any problems, you're gonna tell them, hey, if this happens again, you do this, this, and that. You know how to solve that. That's when you delegate, and you're gonna know that time. Don't rush into it. Don't think that I'm spending too much time here, I'm gonna delegate because I feel like as an entrepreneur my job is to build a team, to delegate everything. Don't rush into that. If you're not ready, to not delegate, because you're gonna be thankful that you didn't 5 years later in the business. When the crisis comes, the small problems comes, and you just know how to solve. You don't have to go back there and learn it yourself, or who knows, have bigger problems than that. That's the time when you delegate. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions about this podcast, I hope this was shorter and got to the point. Thank you so much for whomever is that guy that brought me the idea of improving my podcasting. And you can reach out to me if you can. It would be awesome. I would like to speak to you. It's I'm on Instagram, Facebook. If you message me anywhere on Wings Mobile Detailing, you find me anywhere. But thank you again, and stay tuned for the following ones.